with a view to keep striving to build a force that is not only air-minded, but safety-focused, agile and resilient. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back shortly. Thank you for staying with us. Beyond dissemination of information, the media must mobilize the public towards providing timely information for security agencies to facilitate proactive operations. In view of this was emphasized at a media stakeholders seminar organized by the Directorate of Defense Media Operations in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
The media, without doubt, is a worthy partner.
It's the 2025 First Quarter Media Stakeholders Seminar, focusing on key components of Joint Task Force Commanders' operational success. In attendance are top media executives, gatekeepers in the electronic, print and the online media platforms, as well as members of the civil society.
Strengthening the partnership between the military and the media is essential not only for operational success, but also for building public trust and fostering a national security conscious citizenry. In a battle where propaganda is as lethal as the bullet, and even sometimes much more lethal than the bullet.
Information remains a powerful tool in modern warfare, and its effective management determines to a large extent the success of Joint Task Force operations.
The way our operations are perceived by the local populace and international audiences determines their effectiveness. While media operations offer immense strategic benefits, they also present significant challenges.
The goal is to foster collaboration with the armed forces with a view to enhance the renewed drive to secure the nation.
The issue of access to information has remained central. Sometimes something happens and then the media is in a rush to get accurate information, but then that is not forthcoming. So that also has to be worked on by the military.
There is need for synergy between the media and the armed forces. It will help to bridge the gap, the mistrust and the misunderstanding that have existed.
This will deepen synergy and partnership between security agencies and the media landscape.
The Media Stakeholders Forum is also a critical component of non-kinetic approach towards securing the nation. From the Defense Headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology is calling on Nigeria to embrace emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, genome editing and robotics to compete effectively with global counterparts. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Esu Abana Nko Asanye, emphasized this during a familiarization visit to the Shedda Science and Technology Complex. He stressed the importance of integrating STEM, science, technology, engineering and mathematics education from the primary to tertiary level. She also advocated for the early introduction of genome editing, stating that such initiatives would better equip Nigerian youths with a strong foundation in science and technology, paving the way for the country's socio-economic development.
Institute to continue to be relevant in scheme of things. We all have to look into the emerging technologies are coming up. Like he was talking about the genetics, DNA, chromosome, amongst others. For now, this genome editing that is budding, I don't wish people from India, China, South Africa to come and do it for us.
The Federal Ministry of Justice and Development Partners are pushing for an effective and efficient justice delivery system in Nigeria. Well, stakeholders in the justice sector, drawn from all relevant agencies, are undergoing a 2-day sensitization program. Judiciary correspondent Austin Ayembe reports.
The national minimum standards has been developed to implement the Administration of Criminal Justice Act and also to consolidate collaboration between stakeholders in the justice delivery.
This is by ensuring that courts at both the federal and state levels apply similar standards in criminal procedures and enforcement of criminal justice. This becomes imperative because there were challenges associated with the implementation of the administration of the Criminal Justice Act since it was enacted in 2015.
What the National Minimum Standard document has done is that it has extracted the most basic, the most important provisions of the ACJA, AJA, and the ACGLs of the various states, and then put them together in this document.
The sensitization of the stakeholders in justice delivery, including the police, civil defense, the correctional service, among others, convened by the Center for Socio-Legal Studies and the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program, is to deepen their understanding of the national minimum standards.
We'll give opportunity to all the states, all the criminal justice sector stakeholders in all the states to apply uniform and standardized law with respect to treating offenders, hearing criminal cases, and people won't have a reason to forum shop because all the applications is going to be standardized.
The national minimum standards focus on issues under pre-trial hearing, witness support unit, timelines of prosecution, bail, sanction for non-compliance, remand protocol, arraignment, trial in absentia, transfer or trial judge, plea bargain, case tracking, among others. The overall idea is to have a justice system that is transparent. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
The new president of Nigeria America Chamber of Commerce, Sharif Balogun, says the current global trade dynamics offers an opportunity for countries to rethink their place in the world marketplace. Sharif Balogun, who was elected as the president at the 65th anniversary of the chamber, said under his watch, the chamber will pursue collaborative and mutually beneficial trade policies and strategies to place Nigeria and Africa in a position on sustainable economic growth.
One filled with opportunity as trade routes are redrawn and values redefined. We must ensure Nigeria is not left behind. We must seize this moment with clarity and courage. Under my leadership, the Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce will double down on its mission to facilitate trade and investment between our two nations.
Sharif Balogun is also the president of the Federation of Commodities Association of Nigeria. The United Nations has called on international community to act to prevent a humanitarian nightmare in South Sudan. Head of the UN mission in South Sudan affirmed that violence is already plunging the country into one of the worst humanitarian situations since its independence in 2011. He added that in recent weeks, there has been a sharp deterioration in the political and security situation, which threatens to unravel the peace gains made in recent years. A newly established regulatory authority for gold exports in Ghana says foreign buyers will no longer be permitted to purchase or trade artisanal mined gold in the country. Kolo Mohammed will tell us more.
Effective from May 1st, all gold transactions in Ghana must be conducted with the licenses issued by the newly formed Ghana Gold Board, also referred to as Gold Board, as stated in an announcement from the organization. Licenses that were previously granted by the Precious Minerals Marketing Company, which handled the marketing of the country's mineral output, will no longer be recognized. The announcement emphasized that from May onward, no entity will be allowed to buy or engage in gold trading in Ghana except for Gold Board, which was established to regulate gold commerce and enhance revenue from exports. The new legislation says Gold Board will serve as the exclusive buyer or seller plus exporter of all gold produced by licensed small-scale miners in Ghana, with criminal charges applicable to those who operate without a license from the board.
What happens on the international market has implications for the profits that will be declared for the mining firms. And that has implications for the tax revenue that will be paid to the state. These sort of reductions are not always the best for the country. So at the very aggregate, you can think of it having an adverse effect on the revenue. It would have an adverse effect also on exchange rates.
Historically, both local and international companies with export licenses had the ability to purchase and export gold from small-scale miners in Ghana. Kolo Muhammad, NTA News.
As part of the nuclear deal talks between USA and Iran, President Trump's envoy urged Iran to halt its ongoing nuclear enrichment. This, the foreign minister said, was non-negotiable. Here is Kolo Muhammad again with that report.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, rising from a cabinet meeting in Tehran, told reporters that Iran's enrichment of uranium as part of its nuclear program is non-negotiable. At the last talking session, the USA envoy, Steve Witkoff, called for a halt of uranium enrichment by Iran. The nation's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, voiced satisfaction with recent talks with the United States. The talking team's next session in Oman has been scheduled for Saturday, exactly 1 week after they held the highest-level talks between long-time foes since U.S. President Donald Trump abandoned the landmark nuclear deal in 2018. In other news, regarding increased demand for asylum, the European Union has published a list of 7 countries it considers safe in a bid to speed up migrant returns by making it hard for citizens of the 7 nations to claim asylum in the bloc.
Proposes to include Kosovo, Bangladesh, Colombia, Egypt, India, Morocco and Tunisia in this first EU list of safe countries of origin.
Spokesperson of the European Union says the list is dynamic, meaning it can be expanded or reviewed over time. Kolo Muhammad, NTA News.
And that concludes the news. Thank you for your time. I'm Ruth Aguel, and my sign language interpreter is Anna Olainka.